Hi, and welcome to the video for Monday. My name is Cassie, and I am the reader behind MomentsAre. So today's topic is, what is their priority right now? So we're looking at your person, and we're looking at, okay, what is most important in their life right now? Is it you? Is it, or is it something else? And what does that mean for the relationship, right? You can understand so much more about a person if you know what they're most focused on. And it can also help you connect with that person because you can start focusing on that topic yourself when you're interacting with them. So what we have is we've got some Rider-Waite cards, tarot. We've got some Lenormand cards. We've got this kind of, I don't know, I always feel like it's a silly deck, but it gives me really accurate readings. It's called the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck. And as you guys can see, there aren't any markers here. And so I'm going to be using an interesting way of creating some markers. So I have in my hands right here a animal spirit guide, spirit animal thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some cards randomly, and that's going to be your markers, okay? So for pile number 1, we have the Coyote, okay? All right, pile number 1 is the Coyote. Okay, pile number 2 is the Lion. All right. Pile number 3 is the Koi fish. Okay. All right, let's see here. Pile number 4. We've got the Porcupine. Okay. Pile number 6 is the Lizard. Okay. And pile number 5 is the Lizard, and pile number 6 is the Koala. Oh, that's so cute. I think koalas are cute, but their noses are kind of weird. Anyway, I think I'm weird too. So anyway, so we've got in order to pick the deck, it's like, well, which one do I pick? You can either pick the animal you like the best, you can pick the illustration you like the best. I can tell you a little bit about each animal. The coyote, it's very, it's used a lot in like, Native American imagery and things like that. The lion spirit's kind of obvious. It's the king of the jungle. We've got also the Leos, and we've got, we've got that kind of power, that kind of strength coming from that. The koi fish, it's an interesting one. It's usually from a lot of Eastern culture, although it's definitely not limited to just that. It represents money. It represents having enough of something, and then the porcupine is, it's like something that needs protecting, right? It's got a lot of protection there. The lizard spirit, it's like kind of cool because that's the cold-blooded animal. And because of that, that makes it very different from the rest of them, If you're really attracted to like dragons and dinosaurs and stuff like that, it might be a good card for you to pick. And the koala, we've got, these marsupials, they're so interesting. They're in Australia, and some of the most, I wouldn't say ridiculous, but I mean seriously, the duckbill platypus is from there too, but like, they're really unique because of the way that they evolved separately from so many other animals. So the koalas are very special in that way, and also they're a bear, and I personally think they're cute. But don't let my personal disposition, don't let that guide you. Just use your own guidance, okay? So let me go ahead and restate the piles again, just to be clear. We've got pile number 1 is the coyote, pile number 2 is the lion, pile number 3 is the koi fish, pile number 4 is the porcupine, pile number 5 is the lizard, and pile number 6 is the koala spirit. Alright guys, everything you need to know about me is going to be in the description. If you can't find it there, either send me an email, or just go ahead and check out my website. I do have a lot of, I've been updating it, let's just put it that way. So, that said, let's go ahead and get started. Those of you who have not picked a pile, go ahead and pause the video, Otherwise, we're going to start with the Coyote spirit, pile number 1. And if you want to know what kind of cards these are, they're called the Animal Spirit. Well, it's by Colette Baron Reed. I do know that. And it's like the Animal Spirit Oracle, I think is what it's called. It's got these really cool pictures, I think. All right. Pile number 1, the Coyote spirit. Let's see. So what is your person... what is your person's main priorities here? What can we find out about that? Okay, so we've got strength. Okay, we've got the Ace of Cups, and then we've got the 8 of coins here. Okay, this is a really good spread for you already, and I haven't even looked at the other ones. Oh, okay, so we've got the bear and the ring. Okay, that's interesting. Love. So, yeah, love is on there. Then we've got worthiness. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. Okay, so this is the advice card. I like to have an advice card for all my spreads. Let's go ahead and kind of put this to the side so we can look at the main things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that coyote out of the way. You can kind of see its head there. Alrighty, so let's start with the tarot because it's, you know, it's real straightforward for me. First we have the strength card. Now the strength can be talking about physical strength. It can be talking about that. But in context of everything else that I'm looking at, especially with love being their main priority right now for you, we've got strength. You know, we're talking about this woman communicating here with this lion, right? And she is... you know, in order for the woman to tame the lion enough and have the strength to, instead of using force, use some kind of wisdom or animal training or something like that, some kind of skill, I suppose. You've got this person who has, actually, I don't know if it's a woman or, yeah, it's a woman, sorry. You've got this person who has decided that instead of seeing this this beast, right, as a problem, they're seeing it as something to understand, something to connect with, right? So this, you know, this can't happen. What's in this picture, it can't happen unless the human and the beast have reached an understanding. Okay, so I really interpret this in the context as your person really wants to understand what's going on right now. When it comes to love, they really want to understand you, and it's like their heart's really open. Okay, they definitely, you know, they're not going. I mean, they're not going to force themselves, you know, but they do want. They want to be. They want to not only understand you, but they also want to be understood as well. Okay, so that's really important. We've got the Ace of Cups. This is like a new emotional type situation, and again, like the heart's open and all of that kind of stuff. It's definitely something that this person's ready. Okay, with you, this person's totally ready. They want to do something. It's like, another thing though is that they are focused on some kind of skill. It could be that they're trying to learn how to be their own boss. I'll explain that a little bit more when we get to the Lenormand. Or it could just be that they're a workaholic or they're working a lot. This depicts somebody who could be in school as well, especially like higher level schools. So like if you are a teenager and you're asking about somebody you have a crush on, maybe this person takes honors classes, right? If you're a little bit older, you know, maybe this person is in school, in like university or college, or they're going back to school or something like that, you know, or maybe this person's trying to, you know, get up higher in their particular field or in, you know, in their particular job. I also associate this card with being an independent person. So it could be this person's trying to start their own business or trying to like learn how to maybe work from home or something like along that line. But the reason this comes up, because we're talking about priorities, love, they connect being successful with their love life. They can't keep their heart open. They can't connect and feel like they can be understood, if they don't feel like they're at least respected. That's a good way of putting it, because it's like the focus is definitely on love, it's not on work, but it's like this is almost like a characteristic that the person has, and this characteristic is linked very much to probably their self-esteem when it comes to love, okay? So why I mentioned the being their own boss is because the first card we have here is the bear, and it's followed by the ring. So the ring can obviously, be like engagement or contracts and stuff like that, right? It can definitely be that. But the way that I'm interpreting this is that it's like he or she is going around and around in circles, right? So it's like either they're having issues with somebody who's higher up than them, or they they're having issues in trying to get something started where they're a boss. The bear typically represents somebody who's a boss at work, that kind of thing, or some kind of authority figure. It can also represent a mother or a mother-in-law, a very strong personality. So it could be just as simple as their mother is trying to put pressure on them to get married, and that could be affecting why they're so focused on this. Because this card came up, though, I really think that for most of you, it's going to have more to do with just that this is important. They have to feel like they're successful before they can really connect with you. So one thing that you can do, like what that tells me for you guys, is that make sure that you're telling them that you really like whatever it is they're doing, or you really believe in them, or that you admire certain aspects about them that would have to do with this kind of skill, building up skills, being successful, that kind of stuff, because that's something that brings them a lot of self-esteem and helps them to feel attractive, or not only attractive, but also helps them be attracted to you as well. So that's important. And I think, and the reason I kept bringing up the self-esteem is because we've got this card worthiness, and this is the, this is the advice to both you and to your person, what your person needs, and also what you can do to help. This person, sometimes I really feel like maybe on the outside they might kind of seem like they're tough and everything, but I really feel that for most of you, you've got a very sensitive person on the inside that really just wants to be appreciated. They want to be appreciated, and they want to feel important, okay? They want to feel like they're important to you, okay? So just understand that it's like you've got to, sometimes when we get like a little bit nervous because we've got a crush, or sometimes when we are really interested in somebody, we can kind of chatter, and we can chatter about ourselves a lot, because it's like that's what we know about. We know a lot about that. I'm not saying that you guys are doing this, but it's just something that I've noticed. I think that sometimes that can cause the person to be like, okay, but what about me? Do you care about me? Do you think that I'm cool? Like, why are you even talking to me? That kind of thing. So really, if you are already doing a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, also just take the time to get to know your person a little bit better, ask them some questions about, their various interests and hobbies, what's, do you like to read, what sport did you play when you were little, that kind of thing. It can just be a conversation starter, and when they respond with something that you like, be like, oh, that's so cool, or I think that that's so interesting, like whatever it is that you feel or you think, that's positive, give them that feedback so that they know that they're worthwhile to you, okay? All right, guys, this is great. So you're right there with your person. You just got to kind of work on your person's self-esteem a little bit. All right? Hi, those of you who picked pile number 2, the Lion Spirit, here is your reading. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Swords, the Emperor, the 10 of Coins. Okay. We've got the Anchor and the Friend. Well, it's a dog. I always assume, we've got Marriage. Okay, and Healing Heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. Okay, guys, so this paints a very clear picture to me, okay? this could be somebody who's already married, okay? So if your person's already married, no judging, and just, keep that in mind, that that's an indicator of that. If they're not, it's just they're focused on the ideal, like, they're focused on the ideal idea of what a relationship is. They're looking into the future as far as what is it that I want in the future, and kind of looking around, looking at you and thinking, is this a person that I could be with in the future? And, how does this affect me? How can I be with this person in the future? This person's very long-term thinking, if, whether or not they're married or not, they're long-term thinking. So I would say that given that their main priority right now is marriage, that lets us know that, what they most likely are trying to do is either build up a marriage, they could be wanting to leave a marriage, or they could be wanting to start a marriage, right? Okay, and I understand that can be like, well, my goodness, which one is it? Well, it's one of those things where we're doing a broad public reading, and so I can't get into the details because I'm not one-on-one with a single person, right? However, I can give you a lot of advice about why this is such a big issue. In fact, I can say it's not even like an issue. It's just something they're thinking about. They're thinking about either their marriage. They're thinking about getting out of their marriage. They're thinking about getting into a marriage, or they're thinking about getting married, or they're thinking the long term. Okay, this is their main focus right now. Okay, so when we look over here, it gives me a better picture of what's going on. Again, we have this idea, you've got this guy and he's got the swords, right? A lot of people think this is a really funny tarot card, just, without knowing what it means and everything, or sometimes even knowing what it means. I think it's a funny looking tarot card. Basically, he's gone into the enemy camp and he's stolen their weapons, and he's like so happy and excited about the fact that he's got these swords. Like, I mean, and I know that's like kind of silly, but it's like, what he's doing is he's strategizing, and I'm not saying that your person's a he, I'm just talking about this character. So what this means in this reading is that this person is doing something maybe a little bit naughty. Maybe they're on this on the fence where they're kind of playing both sides. I'm not saying that they're a player. I'm not saying that's the word that we used when I was younger. I know. Let's see, a better word, maybe a Don Juan or a Casanova, or I don't know what the word is that you guys use now, but it's, he or she isn't a person who's just out to, experience this, because we also have the Emperor energy, because this person is very controlled. They are probably very, very serious. They're probably in some kind of, like, I want to call it a power place, but I don't think that these people are necessarily powerful like the way a president's powerful, or the way that, it's more like they oversee other people, like maybe in their job, or they tend to kind of stand above or to the side of others. They stand out. They're very unique. They're very individualistic. So we're talking about somebody who, I mean, yeah, this could be a judge. It could also be like a minister. It could be like a teacher or a professor, or it could be a director, just somebody who manages a lot of other people. It could be something like that. And it's also somebody who really wants to control their time and their energy and all of that kind of stuff. Also, the Emperor is associated, in my mind at least, as a reader, with the kind of energy that seeks out to see, well, what's going to happen next. They're constantly trying to anticipate what's going to happen next, so that they can direct the people that are, underneath them, towards, accomplishing their goals. So marriage would be a goal, or something that they're just thinking a lot about. We've got the 10 of coins here too. So we're also talking about a situation where your person's being affected by money right now. Your person might be rich, or it could just be a situation where they are trying to figure out how to manage money, because we've got the Emperor, you know, we've got this, I mean, it tells a story, you know, we've got this person who's taken on some stuff, and they want to control things, and then we've got, you know, the ten of coins, which is typically like the best coins card you get, pretty much, when it comes to materialism, right? But it's also a card that talks about exchanging, and when you've got the Emperor energy trying to like control things so much, you know, we've got somebody who wants to control their money, so they might be having some financial issues, or they might just be, you know, looking at their finances right now. It could be that their marriage is taking up too much resources, or they want to have enough resources so they can commit to a marriage. Okay, so that's something else that might be going on here. I think this is the most important part of this particular reading for you guys, as far as you know, the most basic important part here. You know, we've got the anger coming up, and this is one of the best cards you can get with Lenormand. It's kind of a silly card, right? Because, like, what an anchor, you know, for those of you who don't know, of course, for those of you who do, it's all like, yeah, that's a good one. So it's like you're not going anywhere, okay? You're there. You're in this person's life. This person feels like they need you in their life. They want you there. You're not going anywhere. This person cares about you, and they want you. But right now, they need more of a friendship type relationship, or if you're already married with this person, it's like you know, you're there, but they need you to be a friend too. All right. And this goes for whether or not you're in a relationship right now, and you've been for a few years, or you just started dating or whatever. They just need that support. Okay. They need things to be kind of lighthearted, when they're around you. And so, you know, rest assured, you're not going anywhere. You are in this person's life. If you don't want to be in this person's life for whatever reason, then just run away. Because, I mean, they see you as somebody that's not going anywhere, somebody who they trust, somebody they find very, very loyal, and somebody that they're also loyal to, okay? So that's the important part, too. So we've got Healing Heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. I think that whether the question is, you know, for your person is, should I get married? Or is this person somebody I could spend the rest of my life with? Or should I maybe get out of my marriage? Or should I stay in my marriage? Whether the question doesn't matter. What matters is that you can heal the situation for them. That's why you've been put in their life, okay? You know, and that's going to be true for about 85% of you. For the rest of you, it's going to be like there's a literal healing going on, you know. There might be, like, maybe your person's sick, and that kind of thing. Or it could be just echoing the friend card here, saying, you know, the dog card here, saying that, you know, they just need to be supported, you know. So keep that in mind. You know, you are in a very good relationship with this person. You know, so it looks like, you know, depending on your situation, where you are, hopefully I've conveyed a clear enough message so that you can kind of understand. But the bottom line, the question, what is their priority right now? His or her priority is marriage, okay? That's what they're thinking about the most. That's what's on their mind, okay? Alrighty, guys. Hi, pile number 3. Those of you who picked the Koi Fish Spirit. Here is your reading. Okay, we've got the 8 of Swords, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Wands. Okay, so the first Lenormand card is a coffin, and the second one is the clover. All right, what your person is focusing on the most right now is wealth. And it's really important to know that you are being helped. So this is some kind of relationship that has that, like, something more going on in it, okay? People have different words for this, and I don't want to push a certain kind of idea or ideal onto you, but it would be what I call a soul connection. You know, there is some kind of deeper, very profound connection between you and this person, okay? So this person's focus is on wealth, okay? and it's appropriate that the koi fish came up to talk about that. I really feel like this person needs more of something from you, okay? Because I feel like the other cards here aren't really specifying that this person's actually in need, okay? It's not like the 5 of coins came up. It's not like the tower came up indicating, you know, some kind of big business or anything like that. We're not seeing a whole lot of things that point to wealth other than this. So when I think about wealth, I think about a wealth of information, a wealth of support, you know, an abundance, right? So they're looking to create more positivity in their life, okay? So, and I mean, it could be literal money, but I feel like it's a little bit more profound than just money. I feel like it's more like this person needs to, they want to expand their happiness. They want to expand their environment so that they have more of what's good and they're getting rid of what's not working for them. And here's a story about why that is. It seems like they've been stuck previously. This is definitely past energy for me. It's very, very clear. This card right here is the past. It's they were stuck on something and it wasn't going anywhere, and it was something that was very it caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of unrest. It might have been like, for example, it could have been like a dead-end job, or it could have been a situation where, you know, maybe a few of their friends just kind of, you know, turned against them, or maybe it was completely imagined. Maybe it was just something, it could have even been like a mental disorder, something that came up in their minds and they just couldn't get out of that kind of circular thinking. But I feel like they stayed, or they think that they stayed in the situation too long, and they just really wanted to get out of that, right? So here in the present, we've got the Page of Cups, you know, somebody who's a little bit awkward, okay, about wanting to connect, you know, it's kind of silly, you know, we've got the water representing the emotions. It can also represent long distance relationships, so I just wanted to kind of mention that, although, you know, that doesn't at all have to ring true for all of you. It's just one of the things that I point out. And, you know, he's tried to gather up some water here, and he's got a fish instead. So it's like this person is kind of like adorable with the way that they are so clumsy about expressing their emotions, right? But we also have the Ace of Wands here, which lets us know that this person is very impassioned, okay? So whatever the wealth is that they want more of, they're probably very passionate about it. It's probably something you know about. It could be some kind of social cause. It could be just them cleaning up their lives, you know, or it could be, you know, a wealth of love in their life too, okay? It's going to depend on which viewer you are, right? And then we've got I just have to mention it, we've got a second 8, you know, we've got the 8 of Swords here, and we've got a second 8 here, which feels meaningful to me. And we've got the Coffin, and the Coffin can be kind of a scary card to get in Lenormand, right? And, but it doesn't, sometimes it indicates a death, a literal death, right? But I feel like, and that could have been what happened here in the past, where they were just stuck on maybe some grief or something like that, right? And now they want to live their life as fully as possible, you know? That makes sense with this story, right? But what I feel like it is really, this is reiterating something ended, something they needed to get out of, they needed it to end. And now they just are focusing on building up their luck, because we've got the Clover over here. This is really strange. Sometimes when I'm doing readings, I'll just get something that really wants to come through, and so this might apply to some of you. It might apply, it might not. It might just be one of my viewers here. But I'm also getting that for some of you, this might be like a box or a very small space. Maybe your person has issues with agoraphobia, or they're moving, which would explain why the water's there. And that's where they felt stuck. Yeah, they felt stuck, so they decided to move, and so they're packing up boxes, and they feel like they're really lucky that they're going to go this other place or something. And the wealth could be describing, you know, maybe a new job or something like that. But the bottom line, I want to be very clear, that is not for all of you. That is just for, like, a very small percentage of you, but I just had to say it because it was like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like my mind gets like locked, and it's like, nope, you can't think anything else until you get the sun out. So that's another thing. But yeah, you're being helped. I think this is the most important. I mean, this is probably the most profound message so far that I've gotten in this group. You know, of all the readings I've done so far. You're being helped. It's like there's some kind of soul connection between the two of you. You guys are being pushed together, even if this person, you know, if there is a move going on, even if this person seems to be going away, okay, or moving away from you, you are being pushed together. There's some kind of something more in this card. We're talking about the Christian ideas of heaven, but we're just talking about, you know, the universe, spirit, cosmos, whatever you want to, you know, however you want to conceive of any kind of supernal power, right, is behind the scenes here, okay? It's not just coincidence that the two of you know each other, okay? So that is really important to keep in mind. It looks like this person wants to be in a better place, right? And again, wealth and abundance. Right, hi, pile number 4. Those of you who picked the porcupine. Here is your reading. So we've got the 3 of coins. We've got the 8 of cups. And then we have the 6 of swords. I think this is really interesting because we've got 2 images of somebody moving away from something, okay? Let's look at the rest of them, though, okay? We've got another issue of moving away, right? We've got the boat here, we've got the boat here, we've got the ship, and then that's talking about, you know, the ship is associated with the mountain. We've got happiness, okay? And we've got accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. This is an interesting one. You know, it kind of goes with letting go and letting God. This is your advice card. You know, let me just go ahead and answer the question. The question is, what is their main priority right now? What are they focused on? What's the most important thing in their life? Right now, they're really looking at what is going to really make me happy. What's going to make me feel like I'm, you know, I'm being recognized and I'm in a good place and people appreciate me, okay? They've been walking away from situations that do not serve them, both in their heart and their emotions, okay? And also in their thoughts, okay? They're trying, and the reason I'm saying that is that we've got a person moving away from the cups. They've just left the cups there and they're moving away. It's like, you know, these emotions, you know, maybe it's been an emotional burden. They need to get out of that frame of mind. It could be somebody who had or has been struggling with like depression or just been in a kind of slump that's now getting out of it. And the reason I'm saying that is because we also have the swords representing thoughts and just, you know, kind of that departure from the old way of thinking and trying to bring in new thinking, okay? The ship tends to, you know, in Lenormand, and this is the main card here, the ship tends to talk about slow progress, okay? It can also represent, you know, international relations. You know, I have to point out, you know, again, we've got 2 ships here, so it does look like that's, you know, that's talking about moving away from something. It can also describe a longing. It can also describe a long-distance relationship. I've gotten some long-distance relationship cards in, I think, every single reading that I've done so far. Maybe just a bunch of people with long-distance relationships are really wondering, you know, what the priority is. But either way, we have the ship, and that lets me know that something's kind of slow moving, like slow but sure, and there's just some obstacles to get around. And I feel like the obstacles are what this person's trying to eliminate in their life, okay? In pursuit of their own happiness. So now I want to go back to the 3 of coins because I always associate this as the kind of like look at me card, like look at me, aren't I cool? You know, look what I can do. You know, I can do this, I can do that. You know, it's like the person wants to be seen. They want to be recognized. Or It doesn't always have to be that way. It could just be that this person's very skilled at something, maybe artistic, and a lot of people really admire them for that skill. A lot of creative energy, that kind of thing. Either way, you know, we've got the... I can't just ignore the fact that the porcupine came up here, okay? It's like, I know that this was just a card that we were using for an indicator, but I feel like this person wants to protect themselves, okay, from what was going on previously. And, you know, and I hate saying it, but it's like, I really feel like for some of you guys, it's going to be your relationship with this person, that they feel that they can't be their best in this relationship, or that there's too much negativity, like negative thinking, negative experience, or maybe, you know, this can just be the no drama card. Like, it's just too intense, or there's too much quote-unquote drama for them. And here, I feel like this message is so much more for you guys, the viewer, than it is for your person. And that is, accept heaven's help. Understand that it's like you've set out an intention into the universe to, you know, whether it's, you know, to the Christian God or a different God, or, you know, science, or, you know, whatever it is that you believe in, right? You don't even have to believe in anything in order for it to still be true. It's like you've got a wish in your heart, or you've got this, you know, this feeling in your heart that's giving you this feeling that there's something you need that you can't control enough, that it's just kind of got to be provided for you. That is going to get here, okay? I really want to stress the idea that when we're talking about what your person's priority is, we're talking about in the now, okay? Whenever you're watching this, in the now. And in the now, their priority is focusing on creating more happiness, okay? So whatever, you know, whatever you need, whether it's help in getting past this relationship, or if it's help in helping them be more happy, that's coming to you, okay? One thing I've got to say, as another piece of advice for you guys, is that when I see this kind of energy of wanting to walk away from, you know, maybe confusing emotions, or wanting to get away from negative thinking and that kind of thing, sometimes people interpret what other people say as much more critical than they mean. And this person might have an issue with thinking that they can't make you happy. That issue can come from, you know, complaining about things that this person may or may not do. It's just a really easy one to go with. Let's say your person was supposed to get a hold of you and they didn't. But then when they finally do get a hold of you, you might say, why didn't you call me until now? Why didn't you text me until now? Why didn't you send me a message until now? And it's like, what they hear is, you know, they've made time to spend time with you. And yes, they didn't do it whenever they said they would, or they didn't do it in the time that you wanted them to, right? But all they hear is, I'm unhappy with you, rather than, oh, it's good to hear from you. You know, I've been thinking about you a lot. I kind of missed hearing from you. I hope everything's okay. It's still the same thing. You don't have to lie about how you feel. If you really feel hurt, you can be like, you know, I was really hoping to hear from you earlier, and it hurt my feelings that I didn't hear from you until now. That way you can let them know that it's about your feelings. It's not about their actions. It's more about your feelings, and be like, it would just feel so much better if I could hear from you more often. And that's it, you know. Tell them that you've got the problem, which is the feelings, and then immediately give them the solution, and then they'll naturally want to solve it that way. It could be that this person's very self-critical, or they feel like you're self-critical of yourself, or both. And so this would be, you know, looking at focusing on the positive too, okay? So I do think that that's an important thing to get out of this too, but we're basically talking about increasing happiness. And, you know, as a parting message, the bottom line that people want in relationships is that their life is easier because they're in this relationship. So just, if you forget everything else about this reading, just try to remember that you've got to focus on making their life easier. And you've got to also ask yourself, is my life easier? Is it better because I know this person, or is it worse? Is it, you know, am I feeling better or am I feeling, just worse? Because it's like sometimes we can get attached to the idea of a relationship, or we can genuinely fall in love with someone who might not be the right person for us. And when that happens, our emotions are indicators to us that can help us identify whether or not this is the right person or not. I'm not trying to discourage any of you guys, but I just want to kind of, I mean, I see a picture here that I need to, talk about, right? Again, this person feels like they have really run into like brick walls here, and they just want to be happy, okay? So if you focus on the happiness, everything else will fall into place, okay, guys? And you are being helped, definitely. All right. Hi, those of you who picked the lizard. Here is your reading. So we've got success. All right, the Six of Wands. It's a very happy card. We've got the Hierophant. Okay, I think of this person as a spiritual teacher or a leader, or it could just be a teacher. Okay, sometimes I associate this with libraries, like this is the head librarian or something. It's really weird, but it's like they've got the knowledge, and it's like they're imparting that knowledge, right? And we've got the Empress, so we've also got this abundance, right? And then we've got the Fox, and the Clouds, okay? And we have the guidance card is let yourself receive. And what is it? What is their main priority right now? Being successful. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean, they want to have money, but they are looking for success right now. That's what their main focus is. And it's so interesting. Isn't it great how cards will come up and reinforce other cards? I just think it's really interesting. They want to be successful. They want to get this praise. They want to get more. They want to get the information. They want to manifest. The Empress is all about manifesting, and not as much as a magician. For those of you who know the tarot and are correcting me in your head right now, but the Empress is all about abundance, a plethora of, some people pronounce it plethora. I just want to make sure that you guys know I understand the difference in the pronunciation. I like the other one. But yeah, it's like overabundance, that kind of thing. That's exactly what success is having to do with. So we've got somebody who, they want to come across as wise and sage. They're looking for direction. And they also have a lot to give, right? Here's the problem, though, because, the main problem is that they feel like there's something around them that's, like, kind of sneaky. The Fox energy, can be kind of sneaky, kind of cunning. It's almost like it's too good to be true sometimes. Like, what's the catch? That kind of thing. This can very often represent somebody from work. So I just want to mention that. And it's confusing for them. Very confusing. Because so many of these other cards are so positive, I feel like it mutes it mutes the clouds, in that the clouds aren't as big of a deal in this particular spread as they would be if it was like the only thing that came up was the Fox and the Clouds, right? But it does denote that there's some confusion. There has been a dark time. Maybe it's just the fact that they're in the dark about this situation, this person in their life. Again, it's probably somebody from work. I'm not getting the indication that it's the viewer. And it's like they just feel wary of that, or they're confused, they're in the dark. They feel like they can't figure that person's motivations out, that kind of thing. And it's like they want everything out to be in the open. They just want clarity there. So let yourself receive. I feel like this is for both of you, okay? Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies. This person wants to share this success with you, okay? And they also get excited just talking about that subject with other people. So talk to your person about times when you've been successful and about how it was really great. It really built you up. That kind of thing. Or you can, talk to them about like when was when was a time where you really felt like you came out on top, that kind of thing, because that's what they're focusing on. The idea is that you get into their energy, and you both start focusing on the same thing, and you build that compatibility, right? If it were me, I feel compelled to give this example, so maybe it's a personal message to some of you. If it were me, I'd be like, okay, well, my person is focusing on success and all of that. I have a great story. When I was in high school, I decided that instead of playing the instrument that I was playing, I wanted to switch to a different instrument. I was in band, and it was a unique school where band was very, very cool, okay? Like, all the cool people were in bands, so I wasn't a nerd. Well, I was, but it just so happened that that was cool at my school. So I switched to a different instrument, and a lot of people didn't have a whole lot of I guess confidence that I would be very successful with that, but I guess they just didn't know that I was very musically inclined, and I mean, and I don't say that to boast. It's just that's the way that I am. And so I picked up this instrument. It was a trombone. I picked up this instrument and I learned it so quickly. And I learned it over the summer. And there was about, gosh, I want to say 40 different people who I was competing against to get the best share, right? So and all of these people have been playing for at least 5 years longer than I had. And I ended up getting third share. That was like so successful for me. And it was like so awesome. And so that would be a kind of story to tell your person about it, I mean, that's just a really great example of how, you don't necessarily have to get, no, I didn't get first share. It would have been silly to even think that I would have, although if I had, it would have been cool too. But it's like, I got third share. It let me know that I really had, it showed me that the work that I put into it really paid off. And I think that that's the most important thing here. And why I felt so compelled to share that is that, this person has put in a lot of work and it's starting to pay off. And, sometimes when we put a lot of work into something, it feels like it's more important or it's more, it's a bigger investment for us, right? But sometimes we don't really want to receive if we don't put in a whole lot of work into something. So it could be a situation where you've got to let this person want to pursue you first. For those of you who are in like the beginning stages of a relationship, or just kind of interested, like what's this person about, that kind of thing. But I think for most of you, it's just about sharing success stories and kind of that, and just kind of celebrating that. You might want to find out, you might want to see if you can do some research into this kind of like shady, dodgy person, because this is definitely something that's bothering them. I don't get that this is you though. For most, I can't even, I don't feel honest saying that it could be some of you. I really don't think that this is you. This is something else that they're focusing on. It could just be that they want to do it the right way. They want to reach success the right way. They don't want to do any slimy moves, that kind of thing. They don't want to do that because, and they just, it might just be like, gosh, I don't even understand how people could like walk all over other people and all of that and still get out ahead, when, and all of that. But I really feel like this person is a really, really good quality person. And they just want to focus on this right now. But it also looks like, they've got a lot of room for other things, okay? So if I was in a relationship with a person like this, which I kind of am, actually, my partner, Greg, he is so successful, and he's really, really smart. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this whole situation just feels like something I'd want to stay in, definitely, because this person just feels like such a good person, very happy person, that kind of thing, even though we've got the clouds here. It's just confusion. Alrighty. Hi, those of you who picked the 6th pile, the Koala Spirit, here is your reading. Okay, so we're talking like, what is their priority right now? What are they prioritizing above everything else? Well, one thing we can see is that with the Ace of Cups, is we've got something new that has to do with emotions here. So you might have noticed a shift in your person, and it might not have been a positive shift, but you've got a shift where the emotions are running a little bit differently. But I don't feel like there's a lack of emotion between you and this person. I feel like this person is being emotional with you and is being willing to open up about that, okay? But we also have the Page of Swords, and we've got the Page of Pentacles. And these two together let me know, like, I feel like these are really describing your person's characteristics. Is it they're trying to let their mind override their heart, and they're really in pursuit of planting some seeds and getting some things going in their life, okay? Regardless of how old your person is, it's like this person, this is their focus, this is their main priority, it's their career, okay? They want to feel established. They want to feel like they've got their feet in the right place, okay? And how they do that, we've got a book followed by the tree. This is not the most traditional way of reading this, but in this spread, the way that it's coming through for me is that this person's seeking a lot of knowledge, trying to find out, a lot of things that they don't know, okay? Because the book's closed. We're talking about kind of secrets, mysteries, that kind of thing. And then we've got the tree here. The tree typically represents health, but it also can represent the brain. And I feel like this person might be a really erudite kind of person, somebody who studies a lot or somebody who researches a lot. It doesn't even have to be somebody who's in school. It could just be somebody who's really interested in expanding their mind, but they're still a little clumsy about it. And I think it's because they are so given to their own personal passions and their own emotions. They want to be more like this, but they're more heart oriented, even if they don't want people to know it, right? So yeah, they're very sensitive, whether it's written all over them or it's, inside of them and they're not really letting people know so much. But yeah, the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles, we're talking about kind of adolescent energy. So I kind of see it as, nothing against the teenagers who are watching this thing, okay? I love adolescence. I say that probably sounds weird, but I say that because one of my original goals in counseling was to become an adolescent psychologist, because I really loved that age. But yeah, this is kind of adolescent energy in that it's like, this person probably has a lot of really great ideas. They're willing to take risks and all of that kind of stuff. It's just they're a little awkward still about it. They're not yet an adult. They haven't yet had enough experience with this. So it's like they're trying to figure out where their career lies and what they can do. And it might also be that they just have too many skills to be able to pick one, But here we go. We've got divine magic. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation now. Expect miracles. I really feel like this person doesn't even really have to try all that hard in order to figure out which career they're in. They've just got to be. They've just got to be who they are. And in being who they are, they'll just stumble into the career that they're supposed to be in. Now, that goes against what a lot of people think when they talk about, like, okay, well, you have to work hard, and then you move up the ladder, and then eventually you get to the top, and that's how you do it, You pick a subject, and then that's what you go with, This person's not traditional when it comes to that kind of stuff. They're more the kind of person that follows their heart, kind of looks at the circumstances and just kind of goes with what comes, but that works for them, okay? And when we talk about magic, sometimes that can be a difficult word. At least I know it is for me sometimes. We're talking about wish fulfillment. We're talking about something that we think can't happen actually happening, okay? And it feels magical when things that we think were impossible we realize are possible. And so that's another reason why I just feel like this is going to just fall together for them. It's going to feel magical. Like they're just going to fall into it and they're going to be really successful with it, even though they're kind of awkward right now, okay? So if you see this person kind of clumsily, trying to pursue different kinds of careers and everything like that, or they're kind of clumsily going through a specific career that they're in right now, just know that that's the way that they do this, okay? I just have to go back to say, though, because we're talking about a love-oriented reading here. Your person has feelings for you, okay? Very, very strong feelings for you. And I mean, this is just the underlying, this is just another layer to this reading here. They want to impress you, okay? They want to be like, look at me, I have something to offer. Look at me, I can talk and communicate well, and that kind of stuff. And it's like, I really feel like they want to impress you. They want to find out all sorts of stuff about you, and you guys have a strong intellectual, relationship. Like, they feel like you get them in a way that maybe other people don't, because you're on their level. And I'm not even saying that this person has to be super smart, or that you have to be super smart, although I'm sure you guys are, because you're watching my channel, right? But it's just that they feel like, you get them, and they don't meet a whole lot of people that get them. Okay, so another thing I want to say is that this could also be coming up to indicate to you that, if you're thinking about whether or not you should work with this person or not, this is saying yes. Maybe there's something you can offer them, okay? But this is what they're focusing on. If it's not a situation where you work together, where you could, talk about how you are going about your journey to find your career, or how you got into the career you're in right now, and that kind of stuff. Because the idea is, when you know their priority and you start talking about that, they'll just light up. They'll be like, oh, it's like, we're thinking about the same thing, And I mean, I don't mean it in a manipulative way. I just mean it that this is what your person's thinking about. They're really thinking about this. And so if you kind of help them through it, it'll feel really special for them. But I do feel like, and I didn't feel like this for any of the other readings. I just do feel like there's kind of a double meaning here, with this person really cares about you. They want to impress you. They want to get to know you really well. They find you kind of mysterious, and all of that kind of stuff. And maybe you guys could work together, yeah. So it's a really interesting reading. I like it. I like this one for you guys. It's a nice and clear, and you've got a very balanced person, they might be clumsy about all the things, but they are balanced. They do keep in mind, they don't just live in their heart. They don't just live in their head, they don't just live in the material world. They also have an imagination, that kind of stuff, It's just seems like a really quality person. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. I really appreciate it. It feels so good when I see my subscribers going up, and when I see you guys commenting back and telling me, what I'm doing right, and letting me know what I'm doing wrong too. I'm open to all kinds of feedback. Use those comments. If you enjoyed this, I have lots of other videos out there that you can see and check out. And just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on Wednesday for our next reading. I post Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays of every week, so that's when you can see me.